experienced an 80% increase in enrolments in our agricultural colleges over the last 4 years, and that was a reverse of a long-term decline in numbers, to the point now that we turned away 230 students in our 7 colleges in the current year. And we now have a total of over 3,200 students between our colleges and our regional education centres. Well, there's a number of reasons for the increase in enrolments. Always in downturns, all education providers experience an increase in enrolments, particularly so with this downturn in agriculture, because the main downturn was in construction. And in construction, a lot of farmers' sons in particular are very attractive on building sites because of the skill sets they possess. And now, because of the downturn in construction particularly, those people are coming back into our colleges. That's probably the main reason. But there are other reasons. I think certainly there's a renewed optimism in agriculture at the moment. And certainly when you look at the news any night of the week, the manifestos of the various parties talk about agriculture, food, forestry as being the driver of economic recovery. And when I was talking to some students the other night, or some young farmers at a function, and they were saying that agriculture is very much back in vogue. When they go clubbing, they're popular with the girls again now compared to a few years ago, and that's actually a true quote. Well, there have been a few interesting developments in recent years in our education programme. I suppose one of the most striking would be the introduction of the discussion group format out, and this is a way of bringing the classroom out into the field. So the students are taught in their second year in the programme using the discussion group format on benchmarking farms. The groups are facilitated by the benchmarking farmer and the teacher, and the students share the information of their farms with the benchmarking farm, and they carry out a project based on the data on their home farms, mirroring what happens on the benchmarking farm. For example, the ICBF Herd Plus project. Another interesting development in recent years, of course, has been our online learning delivery, and we are now delivering the agricultural certificate in agriculture to over 300 students each year online, and this is to facilitate part-time farmers who already have an existing non-agricultural award but need this to qualify them as a farmer. And so it's delivered largely online, but with some attendance at colleges for skills training. Another development, I suppose, would be the leadership training, a project we brought in last year. It's a mandatory module now. The students must participate in a Mochran Firma club, and the module is delivered by our staff along with Mochran Firma local development officers, and they must participate as club officers and carry out the various competitions like stock judging, etc., and also carry out a community project. So Teagasc, like many other education providers, faces major issues into the next few years in terms of resources, both financial resources and staff resources. Staff resources is the biggest one, in fact, because of the moratorium we cannot replace staff as they retire. We've lost 17 teachers in the last couple of years since the moratorium came in. And we are not being treated the same as other education providers who can replace frontline teaching staff as they retire. So that's a major issue going forward. Another challenge, and I suppose it's an opportunity, is dairy expansion. And we all know that Food Harvest 2020 is projecting a 50% increase in dairying by 2020. Now that will require huge resources in terms of upskilling the farmers who are new entrants to dairying and who are expanding. And we are currently looking at our overall provision in dairying education to try and meet these challenges, and we will be enhancing our advanced cert in dairy herd management. We will be trying to get more and more students to do their placement in New Zealand. I suppose another challenge going forward is the need for collaboration and joined up thinking. This is the whole mantra now in terms of higher level education after the Hunt report. Similarly with Teagasc, we cannot go into competition with the VECs, with the Institutes of Technology, with UCD and universities. Instead of that, we have to exploit the core competencies of all the various providers and work together for the benefit of Irish agriculture. Well, another recent development is our involvement in grass budgeting and grass measurement. And, Teagasc is a bit unique. We have research, advice, education in the one organisation. So that means that when research comes off the conveyor belt in Moore Park on grassland management, for example, we can package it and deliver it out to students, and they're getting it hot off the presses, if you like. So our students are out in the field, they're measuring grass, they're budgeting, they're measuring grass covers, they're cutting grass, they're budgeting the grass for the year, and that's fantastic. And as you can imagine, this is a very appropriate and modern methodology for teaching grassland management to our students. Well, there's a huge challenge to strike the proper balance between excellence in delivery and delivering value for money for the taxpayer. And, as pressure on the budgets increase, we have to continue to increase our efficiency measures, such as cost per student, such as student-teacher ratios. But we cannot compromise quality. Quality has to be at the forefront of all our education provision. That's the major challenge for Teagasc education going forward.